If you want to unlock the bent arm handstand press but don't really know what steps to take, that's alright. In this video I'm gonna share with you how I learned this skill, 3 exercises to help you unlock it, breakdown of the technique, and some tips on programming. I first unlocked this skill in November 2023, and I vividly remember that day because it was around 7-8 AM when I woke up, tired, but I knew that I needed to hit the gym because at the time I was learning to speak on camera to upload my first YouTube video. So I got in the gym, recorded my first videos. It's hard to film actually. And so after all of that insecure recording, for some reason I felt the urge to do some handstands. So therefore I just decided to record an attempt of the bent arm handstand press. I pressed record, did the attempt, and while pushing myself up, I thought that I'm gonna fall because whenever I tried that skill before, I would just lose balance and fall, but this time it was different. I pushed myself to a handstand, held it, and while I was holding it, I knew that I just unlocked this skill. I was filled with so much happiness that, I started jumping around the gym and clapping, because before that, for some reason, I always thought that handstand and handstand push-up related skills are kind of tough and technical and hard to do. But after I unlocked it, all of those limiting beliefs just got destroyed. And it was at that time that I knew that I can learn the handstand push-up. And fast forward a couple of months, this is exactly what happened. And so this is my story and how I unlocked it. Now let me share with you how you can unlock it. This skill requires both technique and strength. And so you need to have an at least 10-second handstand hold and 10 pike push-ups before you start learning it. A good way to know if you're ready for this skill is just trying it. If you try and you feel like you can push yourself up, then you are ready for it and you should immediately start practicing it. If you try and you feel weak, then you need to gain some strength by doing some pike/elevated pike push-ups, but more on that later. Now let me share with you the exercises you can do to unlock it. The exercise that helped me the most to unlock the bent arm handstand press is actually very simple, and that's just attempts. Usually when I talk about skills, I mention a couple of main exercises, but in this case, it's just attempts. Before learning the skill, I already had the strength to push myself up, and although my balance wasn't the best, I could still hold the handstand. So I just did attempts and unlocked it. That being said though, there are still some exercises you can do in order to speed up the process, but before sharing them, let me share with you the common mistakes while doing attempts. So the 4 most common mistakes when doing attempts are not leaning forward, not focusing, not pushing the shoulders, and not using your core. Not leaning forward is kind of self-explanatory, but when doing the skill, you need to lean a little forward. If you don't, it will be much harder for you to push yourself up because of the angle. The other mistake that I made was not focusing. When trying the skill, you need to pick a spot on the ground and focus on it. It works because when your eyes are fixed on one point, you gain more control over the movement, and that increases your chances of unlocking this skill. At least in my case, when I implemented this, I immediately gained more control and my sets became much cleaner than they were before. And the last 2 mistakes are kind of correlated, and they are not pushing your shoulders and not using your core. Not elevating your shoulders will make your handstand look like a banana, and not squeezing your core, which is something I'm still struggling with, by the way, will destroy your body awareness and make your handstand look even more like a banana. Now let me quickly share with you the other 2 bonus exercises you can do to progress faster. The first one is the shoulder stand. If you don't feel confident at the bottom position of the bent arm handstand press, then I would recommend adding just a couple of sets of this exercise in your routine to build some strength, because the skill itself starts from this position. Make sure to do it shy of failure. And the second exercise is floating pike push-ups. This exercise is an advanced version of the regular pike push-up. It can be super useful because it's harder than a regular pike push-up because you lift your body and hold it, and you also can't cheat while doing it, which is the reason I like it so much. Now let me give you some tips on programming. If you already have enough strength to push yourself up and you can hold the handstand, then I would recommend doing attempts in the beginning of the workout because you are most fresh. This is exactly how I did it. Because I already had the pushing power and the balance, I just practiced it when I'm most fresh, and that's it. It took me a couple of weeks to unlock it, and it's not really that complicated at all when you have both strength and technique. However, if you have strength but your balance sucks, then it would be great to include some balance work throughout the week as well, because it doesn't matter how strong you are, if you can't balance properly, you won't learn this skill. Sure, just by doing attempts, your technique will get better over time, but you can progress a lot faster if you include some balance work. Now, If you don't have enough strength, don't do attempts because you will get tired and frustrated. Instead, I would advise you to practice the handstand, get better at balancing, and at the end of the workout include some shoulder stands and pike/elevated pike push-ups. So the workout can look something like this. You practice the handstand in the beginning, then you hold the shoulder stand for 5 to 10 seconds for a couple of sets, shy of failure, and then you do 2-4 sets of pike/elevated pike push-ups for 8 to 12 reps to build your front delts. You can practice this skill 3-4 times a week, at least that's how I practice. Just make sure to recover from workout to properly progress, and also keep in mind that the numbers I've mentioned are general. You can change them if needed, depending on your level. Now, if you don't have enough strength and you can't hold the handstand, then what are you doing here? Just kidding. Learn the handstand first, build the basic strength, and then you can start practicing for bent arm handstand press. So yeah, I just shared with you all the important stuff I wanted to mention. If you found this video useful, like it so that it gets promoted, subscribe if you want to, and until next time.
Yes, 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 yes. Let's go.